Celebrity fans of the NBA. You know, the ones that are always sitting courtside, cheering for their favorite teams, and repping their favorite players, and at times motivating players to show up and show out. Now, as we are already 2 weeks into the playoffs, you already know that the stars have been out. Thus, it made me wonder, who are the top 5 celebrity fans of the NBA? Welcome to No Small Talk, Just Ball Talk, so let's cut the chit chat and get right into it. Here are the top 5 celebrity fans of the NBA, in my opinion. Now, for number 5 on my list, we got none other than Drizzy Drake for the Toronto Raptors. Now, the Canadian rapper and hip hop mogul Drake Aubrey Graham is known to be one of the biggest fans of the Toronto Raptors and is actually the team's global ambassador, a position he has held since 2013. Now, if you tune into most Raptors games, you can usually find him sitting next to the scorer's table, a seat permanently reserved for the Toronto legend. Now, over time, he has also been involved in various Raptors-related initiatives, such as designing the team's jerseys, as well as helped to develop a new training facility in Toronto where the Raptors currently practice, called the OVO Athletic Center. Now, over the course of his career as a superfan, he has built many strong relationships with current and former Raptors players such as DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, Freddie VanVleet, as well as the Claw, Kawhi Leonard. Now, come playoff time is when Drake is seen the most, as he is known to be a vocal distraction for the opposing teams and often trash talks the opposing players. Now, some of whom who are actually his friends outside of basketball, the likes of which include LeBron James, Kevin Durant, as well as Steph the Chef Curry. Now, unfortunately, it looks like the Raptors have missed the playoffs this year. Thus, Drake will not be courtside at any Raptors games. However, he is a well-known bandwagoner, so maybe we'll see him cheering for another team somewhere else. Now, for number 4 on my list, we got Jack Nicholson for the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, the American actor and filmmaker Jack Nicholson has been a familiar face courtside for the Los Angeles Lakers for decades, as he is seen at many of their home games at the Staples Center, now known as Crypto Arena. The 86-year-old legend actually became a season ticket holder back in the 1970s and has been supporting the team ever since. Thus, Jack has been witness to many iconic moments in the Lakers franchise's history, which includes championship games, retirement ceremonies, as well as Kobe Bryant's final game. Now, although he is not as vocal and physically active as the other superfans on this list, you can definitely expect to see him at many home games throughout the season, showing support to his favorite team. Now, for number 3 on this list, we actually have a tie between two franchise owners in the NBA, Mark Cuban for the Dallas Mavericks and Steve Ballmer for the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, let's start with Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban. Now, Cuban, who was a successful businessman, purchased the majority share of the Mavericks back in 2000 for $285 million. And since then, he can be seen attending almost all of the Mavericks games, most of the time sitting on the bench next to the players. Now, his enthusiasm for the team can be heard in interviews and can oftentimes be seen on TV when the camera pans over to him. He is definitely one of the more involved and outgoing sports owners of all time. Now, although Cuban sold the majority of his stake in the Dallas Mavericks for $3.5 billion in 2023, he still has a minority stake in the team and can still be seen supporting the Mavericks and their star players such as Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving regularly at their games. Most recently was actually a few weeks ago, where he was seen joining the players' dogpile after Kyrie Irving's game winner against the Denver Nuggets over Nikola Jokic. I know you've seen that, lefty. Now on to Mr. Steve Ballmer. Now, Steve is also a very successful businessman and is said to be the richest NBA owner in the league as of today. Now, upon retiring from Microsoft in 2014, he had purchased the majority stake in the Clippers for $2 billion. And similar to Mark Cuban, Ballmer is not your typical NBA owner, as he can also be seen at the majority of the Clippers games with great enthusiasm and at times going viral for the way he supports his team. Now, Ballmer actually recently purchased and developed a new arena for the Clippers for $2 billion, where the Clippers will be moving to start their 2024-2025 season. This new arena will also be hosting the 2026 All-Star Game, which I'm sure has Ballmer jumping for joy as he does during the Clippers games. Now, I already know that both these two are the most enthusiastic fans in the building, as Mark Cuban's Dallas Mavericks and Steve Ballmer's Los Angeles Clippers are actually facing each other in the playoffs right now, where the Mavericks are up 3-2. Now, for number 2 on this list, we got none other than Spike Lee for the New York Knicks. Now, the 66-year-old American filmmaker and actor known as Spike Lee is one of the, if not the biggest superfan of the New York Knicks of all time. Now, Lee actually became a season ticket holder for the Knicks back in 1985 and has since then been witness to New York's most iconic moments as a franchise. Moments which include Game 7 of the 1970 NBA Finals when he was only 13 years old, in which the Knicks won their first ever NBA championship. Now, to this day, Spike can be seen at many of the New York Knicks home games where he is often trash-talking the star players of the opposing teams, which he is known to do. Now, although he has been critical and outspoken about the Knicks and their struggles over the last decade or so, his loyalty to the franchise remains intact through their ups and downs. Now, with the Knicks being one of the top premier teams in the East, led by Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, Spike has definitely been seen going crazy during the playoffs. Now, before I get into my number 1 celebrity fan of the NBA in my opinion, here are a few honorable mentions. So we got E40 for the Golden State Warriors. We also have Kevin Hart for the Philadelphia 76ers, as well as Snoop Dogg and Kim Kardashian for the Los Angeles Lakers. We got Jay-Z for the Brooklyn Nets. And last but not least, we got Rihanna for LeBron/the Cleveland Cavaliers. If you know, you know. Now that the honorable mentions list has been completed, let's get right into it. The number 1 celebrity superfan of the NBA on this list is none other than Nav Bhatia for the Toronto Raptors. Now, Nav Bhatia arrived as an immigrant to Canada in 1984 and slowly worked his way to become a successful businessman in the country. However, what he is most known for is being the ultimate superfan of the Toronto Raptors. Now, this man has not missed a single home game of the Toronto Raptors since the inception of the team back in 1995, as he can be seen in the crowd during each and every game, with the exception of one game in 2021 as he caught COVID. Thus, he became the first fan in NBA history to receive an official championship ring when the Raptors won the title in 2019. And he was also inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2021 as well. Now, over the course of his career as a superfan, Nav has developed wonderful relationships with many NBA players, the likes of whom include DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and the list goes on. He's even locked in with the man Drizzy Drake himself. Now, if you're related to Nav, don't count on him to show up to any of your events, as Nav has mentioned the importance of the Toronto Raptors to his life in many different interviews, revealing that he has missed countless birthdays, weddings, and other important events so he can attend the games. Thus, this man is widely recognized as the biggest superfan of the Toronto Raptors and the biggest superfan in sports in general. But unfortunately, just like Drake, his season as a superfan has come to an end early this year as the Raptors did not make the playoffs. Now, if I missed any NBA celebrity superfans on this list, please make sure to comment them down below, as well as let me know your thoughts on the list I created. Please also make sure to like this video, as well as subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed the content, and to also turn on your notifications to stay updated as to when I post next. This is a new channel where my goal is to post 3 to 4 interesting NBA related videos a week, so make sure you subscribe to stay updated. This was No Small Talk, Just Ball Talk, so stay locked. Peace.